Well, Tom, hope you enjoyed your Christmas and had plenty to eat.
A bit too much to eat, a bit too much to drink, to be honest with you.
Likewise, know the feeling. And I hope all our fans and watchers and viewers had a wonderful Christmas and looking forward to the series of matches coming up. So, I mean, we've obviously seen the rise of Norwich. We're getting a bit better, but have we still got gaps, Tom, in the team?
I think so. I think, we are only one or two injuries away from, it all falling apart again. And I think we've finally looked to have cracked the midfield, albeit obviously through sort of Topic's injury and obviously Cernach is out for the season, and we have got gaps in that team. I think if Fisher got injured, I think if Stacey got badly injured, I know his hamstring's not great at the minute, but I think we are one or two injuries away from, I think, the side becoming patchy, shall we say. Obviously Kiscoren's knee's not amazing.
Yeah,
So there is a risk there, and of course then there's the question as to not only who comes in, but of course who goes. And can you see anybody leaving in the window?
I'm not sure whether there is anybody who'll go. I mean, there may be a couple if they're not getting enough game time who might want to go somewhere and get a bit of time. I don't know about Tony Springett if he's going to. I mean, he's obviously got a bit of a look in the last few matches, and I think he did pretty okay yesterday. Um, but sorry, the last game. But whether he's a long-term prospect for us or not, I don't know.
No, I think he's very much an infill, shall we say. I think he's the good thing is obviously he's had game time this season to put himself in the shop window. For anybody that does want to go and bring him in on loan or what have you, or I'm not sure how long he's got left in his contract with us, but he seems to have been with us for an eternity at this point.
And
Um,
there was then obviously talk before the season about Shane Duffy and Slimani being surplus to requirements.
mm,
Slimani obviously has been on the bench a couple of times recently, but Willie, is he in the frame or not?
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, I think the situation, obviously, with the new manager comes in, is that everybody gets a second chance, really. And I think, that will have boosted a lot of people, I think, that didn't really get a chance under Manning. I think if a manager turns around to you and says you're surplus to requirements, then, you probably, and the window's shut and you're not getting a game, you kind of, ease off the gas and probably are not, you're not great to have around. So I think it's interesting that obviously the players that were out in the cold, so to speak, or were told they were surplus to requirements because of injuries and because of performances and everything else, have been given another opportunity.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it looks like we've now managed to get that sort of settled centre half pairing of Darling and McConville, and that seems to be working. At the time of recording, but
yeah,
there's nothing to say. Again, there's nothing to say that an injury to Darling, and again, all of a sudden, it's been it's thrown up in the air again. So I don't know. I think we've obviously still got a few more to come back from injury. Be really interesting to see once we've got a fully fit squad who really is the that sort of that best 11 for Clement.
where do you think we need people though? I mean, given let's assume we had everybody reasonably fit, where would you bring in extra resource?
I'd say we need some proper wingers. I think Makama has done an excellent job there this season. I don't think Forson's a winger. I don't think he's got the legs for it. I don't think he's got the pace for it. But actually, I think he's a good. He's good across that sort of that sort of front three behind a striker.
Yeah,
Um, and then you kind of go, well, actually, you've got wingers in the building. You've got Jurasek, you've got Diallo coming back from injury, but obviously Jurasek seems to be just, the
yeah,
nightmare of 2025 for him. Do we go and get someone in on loan? And you mentioned it in an earlier video about Lewis Dobbin. I mean, he would have been, for me, a great addition. I think he's shown a lot of promise when he played for us on loan.
yeah.
Is he signed permanently for Preston, or is he on loan there as well?
I've no idea. I think probably a loan, but yeah, it's. I mean, it's hard to know. Do you buy somebody or do you bring somebody on loan? It's funny we haven't used any of our loan slots.
No,
despite these injuries, and then you've got players like Miles and Forsyth and Gibbs all coming back at some point.
Yeah, I think Liam Gibbs is an interesting one, isn't he? Because I think he shows a lot of heart, and I think when the chips are down, he does really dig in. But I don't know if he's got the quality. I think if you compare him to a Maatsen, or a McLean, I think if you had a midfield that was sort of anchored by Liam Gibbs, I don't really think he's the sort of driving force and the strength to be able to to really sort of hold a midfield. But he has done well when he's when he's been called upon. Is there anywhere that you can see us needing to strengthen?
I just wonder, do we need somebody in the McLean ilk? Senior, more experienced player, who if McLean was injured, I mean, he obviously was limping a couple of times yesterday. Now it's hard to know. He's obviously a heart of a lion, so he'll keep going as long as he can.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, is there, are we a bit exposed there, just in terms of experience, if he was out?
Yeah, is Pel Maatsen the long-term replacement for Kenny?
Long term, yeah. But I'm just wondering for the next 6 months, is there?
Yeah, we tried that with Adam Forshaw. I think he came in for 5 minutes and then went again. But yeah, I mean, I think as long as Kenny McLean can play football, I think he should be in the team. Because I think like you say, he does bring a lot. He does bring so much experience. He does bring that sort of leadership and that drive. But then we can't, in my opinion, go and sign someone who's perhaps to be considered a first team option as a replacement for Kenny, and then just say to him, "Oh, in January, and you're just gonna have to sit there and wait for 6 months." And I don't know if that is the answer. That might be a summer job that we look at the long term replacement for Kenny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the issue is, of course, in January is you don't really want your club, in my opinion, to have to go out to the window and spend a lot of money. I think if you'd have asked us at the time of the sort of Manning and Clement crossover, if we needed to go out into the window and spend a lot of money, I think a lot of people would have said that, yeah, we need to go and spend 20-30 million quid.
Yeah.
I think how things have progressed under Clement since he's come in and the turn of fortunes and performances for a lot of players, I actually think that we don't necessarily want to upset the apple cart too much by chucking more in that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I just wonder, going back to your point about the wingers, perhaps, some of those options, even like Oscar, I think has done very well this season, but you can see the legs were gone a little bit towards the end. Like, it's hard for a player to go 3 games a week.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is Schwarzer a winger? You know what I mean? He's sort of he looks excellent in that position. He's obviously got quick feet and he's very technical, but he's not the beat the fullback and get the ball across the box type of winger. I think a lot of people are laugh, but Onel Hernandez was obviously that. That's of course not the answer, but I think we do need someone that is probably maybe a loan option. It'd be interesting to see if Napa's got a phone book that he can use, and I'm sure it won't be long before we're linked to that chap from Arsenal. Is it Nyamweri, the winger that we always seem to be linked with, but never ends up coming. But we've only got to look at previous Premier League loan signings. Cade Gordon. Who was the chap we had from Marquinhos that we had from Arsenal?
Yeah.
They were in the sort of Premier League winger on loan kind of mold, and they were awful.
Yeah.
So,
has Clement got anybody in his Rolodex that he would want to bring in?
I would imagine so. I would imagine he's got 1 or 2 that he knows will be part of his group, and will be will be the one that that can potentially kickstart a late playoff push.
Yeah.
Who
And
knows? Who knows?
the only other position I can think of is goalkeeping. And I know Vlad had an incredible penalty save a couple of weeks ago. But equally, Ryan Manning's goal, probably Vlad should have done better. So to me, he's very up and down. And I'm not sure why we haven't given Dan Grimshaw a go. Maybe we will in the upcoming match against Walsall to see. But that might be another area where that the defence is getting a bit more solidified.
Yeah. I mean, I think Vlad, he seems to do the crazy stuff so well. But then the most basic things, you look at the goal away at the 2 goals away at Watford.
Yeah.
The goal that Southampton scored. There has been times this season where it has gone through him. And there's a few times as well that when the players are running back towards their own goal, they're sort of, as if they're sort of gesturing to be like, give me something, tell me something, give me some info, or come and get it, or so I think for all of his positives, and there are many, and I think he's Mad Vlad, the goalkeeper, I think there are probably a few bits in there for me that I think are basics that that you'd expect from your goalkeeper in terms of leadership, and I don't know if he really has that that in him, but equally, again, you go and sign someone of first team quality in January, they're going to expect a game. And equally, you go and get Premier League players on loan, they put stipulations in that they have to play, don't they? So yeah, I think for me, if we could only strengthen one area, I think it would be wingers. Obviously, this is before any discussion of Sargent comes up, and whether he's going to be with us. I think it would be stupid of us to sell him in the January window, whether we are fighting relegation or mid-table or pushing the playoffs. I think, for me, a statement of intent, keeping him in August when we did. And then I think it would be an even bigger statement of intent to be like, no, we don't need to sell in January. But be interesting to see what the numbers come in at.
True. Very good.
Well, we'll see. We will see, of course. So next up, we Watford again at home. So again, we'll be hoping that they can, avenge the Vicarage Road defeat, and then QPR. It's never an easy place to go. It's never an easy place to go. Whether you're flying or struggling, it's never an easy place to go. And then of course Stoke at home, and they're a fairly decent outfit this season. So yeah, I mean, if you could put a number on points prediction for 3 games, Cillian, what do you reckon?
I would go, I'd say 7.
Bold. Okay. Obviously, we've got two home games and an away game. Yeah.
I think Mark Robbins jinxed with us at Stoke when he was at Coventry, so I think we'll beat them. I think we can beat Watford, and then QPR a draw. I think I'd be pleased with that sort of them points.
Yeah, it's 4 minimum, isn't it? It's got to be 4 minimum.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, 4 minimum, 6 or 7. That you kind of go, okay, fine. 9 is obviously the dream ticket, right? But absolutely. I think we probably need to hold on to our horses a little bit. So we'll see.
We've tough games coming. We got obviously Wrexham away, West Brom away, Middlesbrough away, all coming up in January as well. So we do need a strong end to the year and start to the new year.
We do, and 2025 has been, to be honest,
horrendous.
It's been horrific, isn't it? I think if you look at the start of the year, we had Hoff Torup, and then obviously the Jack Wilshere circus, and then of course the excitement of Manning, and then it's only now in December where things have actually started to turn a corner, and you look at that. I mean, it's got to. I know we've not been relegated yet, but and hopefully we won't be. But it's got to go down as probably one of the worst calendar years, in terms of form. And I'm sure, NCFC numbers will put something out about our form in 2025, because it's been absolutely dismal. And I think
it's going to start sound random, Tom, but even our calendar this year, most of the players aren't even featuring. Most of them have left the club. All are ridiculous. I mean, they can't even get that right.
Yeah, it's just like when you turn the calendar page and it's got George Long on the front of it. You're like, oh god, yeah, as if you didn't want to look at the calendar enough as it was. But yeah, 2026, it promises to be, I think, with the direction of with Clement, and it does feel like we are turning a corner. And I've always said sort of football goes in cycles, doesn't it? I think it does feel like perhaps we've hit rock bottom in our cycle. It does feel like we're now making inroads to start to take the next step on the positive, the positive next step on our cycle. But yeah, we will see. 2026. Who knows? Maybe we could see a promotion push.
There you go. Listen, have a good New Year, Tom.
And you, Cillian. I'm sure I'll see you at QPR.
Absolutely. See you.
Cheers, mate. Take care. Bye.